Well, what do we have here, boys? Looks like we got another project. Now, this project, first of all, welcome to the Full Droop RC channel. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I would highly recommend you to watch my previous videos, as I think I have quite a few interesting projects. In today's video, we are gonna be building the Chinese version of the Proline I-beam kit. This is going to be a full frame kit, so we're gonna have chassis rails, rear axle, everything from the ground up. So this will not be like the Proline kit where you bolt it on an already existing chassis. So we're gonna go through all of the build process and I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. Now, you're gonna be asking, why did you buy this one and not the Proline kit? Well, I do not have an SCX3 available, so I decided to go with this one because it had everything and it wasn't really the cheapest with the taxes and stuff like that. I ended up paying around 230 bucks. So definitely not the cheapest option available, especially if you already have an SCX10 at home. But without further ado, let's open the box and reveal what's inside. Another thing that I noted, because I already opened this up, you don't have a manual, so it's not going to be a super difficult build, I think. I'm just going to go based off of the reference pictures that are published online. As of right now, I don't think there is a manual available. Let me know in the comments if you order this and if you have found a manual somewhere. There are some pretty nice aluminum machine parts. Like, as you can see, the beams are looking quite decent. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but they are looking quite sturdy and stuff like that. The chassis rails are, I think, 5mm carbon fiber, so this should be plenty strong. So we're just going to start off with the chassis, and the first thing that I want to mount is going to be the skid plate, so I have kind of an understanding of how the chassis is going to how wide the chassis is going to be. And I also going to mount, I think, the shock mounts as well. This is going to be the servo mount, so let's go ahead and do that. We do have also screw bags, and they are just 2 screw bags, but they have all the mixed screws, so we're gonna have to be patient and find out what screws we need to build. Okay, looks like I got the central part built up. So far, perfect fit, so let's move on. Okay, so I did end up figuring out the front assembly with the servo and the shock hoops. Also the rear assembly as well. I don't know how well you can see that. It's getting quite dark here, but so far the build has gone pretty good. The screws have stopped stripping, so I guess that's a positive point. So without further ado, let's move on to the rear part, because we do have the rear axle already pre-assembled from the factory and greased, I think. And we're gonna go ahead and mount these trailing arms and the axle and the upper links. So we're gonna have the rear pretty much complete, so then we can concentrate on the front. Rear part, the links are too short, I think. They need to be a little bit longer, because I do have the wheelbase selectable, so I do have 3 holes here that you can pretty much use for different wheelbases, so this is going to be super useful. But apparently I am in the middle hole right now, and the links actually will not reach the axle. So if they reach the axle, they're gonna have a drive angle pretty much impossible to use. So I am definitely going to either shorten the wheelbase even more, but I'm not really sure, because the body that I am using, this body right here, it's quite a long body, so I am not really sure where the front is going to end up, but we will see. Little bit of an update, guys. I ended up going into hyperfocus mode and I forgot to keep recording, so the truck pretty much is all assembled. We do have quite a bit of travel at the front. Now, ride height, I think we're gonna go at about here, so we do have quite a bit of droop as well, and also a little bit of compression. Now I do have 110mm shocks here, but I think I'm not really sure if this is going to be my shock of choice, because even at the bottoming out state, they are gonna make the truck sit a little bit high. So I would like to use all the shock travel that we have, because I want to make this as realistic as possible. This is going to be filmed mostly in slow motion, so I want to get the raw feel of the I-beam trucks, pretty much going on rough terrain and maybe have it hit some jumps. So this is going to be a very sensitive topic, suspension tuning. I'm probably going to dedicate a separate video on it. Now, these are Chinese shocks, so I'm probably not gonna end up using them, because I would like to have a good shock package on it. Now, the build went together pretty much super easily. This was a little bit concerning at first, not having a manual, but just looking at the pictures, it was much easier than I expected. It went on super quickly. I did have to adjust the first link here, this one, because this one is going to adjust the toe of the car. This car had a lot of I think it's negative toe, so the front wheels were very open, and I didn't really like that. So after adjusting that little bar there, as you can see, we have pretty much almost zero toe. Now, this doesn't have a lot of steering, but we don't really care. It's even better if it doesn't have too much, because it's gonna be a rear-wheel drive truck, so a lot of steering is not really needed. And my receivers have a built-in gyro, so I'm gonna use that to kind of make things a little bit easier to drive. But other than that, boys, this is the chassis. I'm going to put on the body and show you. The body is gonna have to be cut, and I'm gonna have to build fenders for it, so let me show you. This is how it's looking with the body on. As you can see, we're gonna need to do quite a bit of cutting for the fenders, but don't worry about that. I'm thinking to cut almost the entire fender. I'm saying almost because I don't want to start off way too crazy and just chop off everything and then cry about it, because I cannot fix it. So I'm gonna go step by step. Definitely the rear and the front bumper are gonna go, because I am gonna try and weld some tubing for it, because for that crawler over there I made everything on the 3D printer, but I think for this one it's going to be a mix of 3D printing and welding, so hopefully I can achieve everything that I have in mind. But the body is fitting perfectly. I thought the wheelbase was wrong, because in the website they said it was going to be a 312 millimeter base, but I think they must have put the wrong numbers in, because this should be a 323, I think, or 313, I cannot remember, to be honest, millimeters, of course. But with the stock configuration, I can mount this perfectly. And also, in the beginning, I said that the rear links were a little bit shorter. In reality, I was placing them here, which is the place I thought they was going to go, but they had to go here. So putting them here will give us the correct angle for the pinion gear, and we are not gonna have any issues running it. So now I'm going to mount the servo and the motor with the transmission, so I can kind of have a little bit of a better idea on how to move forward with the body mounts. I'm thinking of mounting, designing and 3D printing screw mount, so it's going to screw in the chassis and then it's going to screw in the car, so the car is going to be fully locked in and we're not gonna have any issues. Okay, so we got all the electronics mounted. As you can see, they do not take up too much space. I was a little bit worried, since this is quite an old transmission that I have. As you can see, it's quite high, but I tried putting the body on and it's looking like it's not taking up too much space, so this should not be a big issue as far as getting the 3D interior design and printed. So this is going to be all for today's episode. In the next episode, we're gonna start cutting up the body and design and 3D print the body mount, so I can kinda see more how the project is going to evolve and what to tackle first. I did order a rear sway bar on AliExpress, so this is going to come in the future as well. I need to order shocks because I want to get the ride height first and combine the ride height with the body and stuff like that, because I don't want to go too far ahead and then have the wrong ride height and everything working not as I want. So this is going to be all for today, boys. Thank you so much for sticking until the end. Remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. This is all from me. I hope you have a great day and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.